Hey everybody, welcome back and welcome back to Nina Ruberti, who is here again to give us some more Bach flower essences, but this time the three that she's got are focused on this month's animals message for May, which was stillness. So as I mentioned before in other videos, it may be counterintuitive for May because the deer are giving birth and the trees are bursting forth and all the things, and yet we're being asked by the animals to go still. And that can be hard. It's been hard for me. I'll be curious to hear how it is for everybody else. And the Bach flower essences can be of a huge value. So Nina's got three. She's going to share them, walk you through how to use them. And she may even tell a little bit about how her stillness is going for her too this month. We'll see what she feels like sharing. I'll turn it over to you, Nina.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for having me again this month. Yes, stillness. That is interesting because of all the energies in May and everything. Like I know, as I've mentioned earlier, that we went through the hurricane Helene back in October, and my sister and I have warehouses and businesses that were severely affected. So getting still and quiet, or peace, tranquility, serenity, however that looks. These Bach flower essences definitely do assist. And I use them quite a bit, especially during this challenging time that we are in.
And I love how you're like challenging time. Like we're trying to stay still while everything is blowing all around us. So yeah.
Right. Yes. It's just kind of chaos, but as long as we can be still in the chaos, right? And it's everything else, we're witnessing it, then we're in a much better place, I believe.
Yes, I agree.
So the first one I've got is Centuri. And I believe maybe one or two that we've used before. I think this was one of them. So
Yep.
this one I always feel is a really good one for getting centered. For being centered so that when we are centered, we become more inward and we know ourselves more, and then we become more balanced, and we're just able to be really. But this is for someone that is, usually it's someone that is more more that they're more serving others. They're very good natured and they like to help out and to share, but then a lot of times that they're usually giving more of themselves than them like keeping their boundaries firm. And so this way, then they're giving up a lot of themselves as compared to what needs to be done. And then they're kind of a little more scattered. They're
Mm.
not really centered. They're not really knowing who they are. And then when you don't know who you are, then you're not really aware of what's going on with yourself. And then
Okay.
when we're that way, then we don't really have that clear sense of ourselves. So the century really brings that sense back into us so that we are able to know who we are. We have those clear boundaries. We maybe can say no, so that way we can focus on knowing thyself as compared to helping out more of others.
That's awesome. Because I know like part of what the animals are having us do ultimately is really do that inner work. And the stillness in an effort, like last month was intolerance, right? So we need to figure out what it is that activates us and everything. Where is that showing up? And then stillness so that we can understand why, and get that clarity. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love Century for this today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a good one. I mean,
Mhm.
yes, because we do need to know ourselves. And when we are sitting in this chaos
Yeah.
and we're not able to be centered or to be quiet, or as we were saying, tranquil, or however that shows up in your life, that we don't you're not able to kind of go with a clear direction as to how you're moving forward.
Yeah.
And so we're not really listening to our higher guidance or ourselves or what it is. And then, when we're not present, which, as we know, the Bach flower essences brings us into presence. And so then when we are very present and very clear, we're able to really live with an open heart, and we're
Yeah.
able to see where it is that we need to go in the stillness of, moving forward.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I like that one. Awesome. I'm glad you brought it back.
Good, 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 good. Okay, so the next one is water violet. So this one, I don't think we haven't used this one because
I
this
don't
one
think
is a
so.
very I mean, it's kind of unique, and it's what it is basically it's for someone that is usually very quiet, they're very gentle, They like to really they like being alone. They don't like they like living life without the noise or the chatter or what goes on. They are usually very independent, they're self-reliant, and they just leave people alone and go about their way. They are usually like their peace and calmness are usually a blessing to people around them.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, they may, or they're probably like in a healing profession, like they may be a teacher or a practitioner, but they just have that usually, just the serenity of them as a soul.
Okay.
But so for water violet, so when we don't have that, I mean, for a water violet person, they also it may be challenging for them to engage in the world because they do like the serenity and their peacefulness of their own inner world. So the water violet it will restore the peacefulness to you, the grace. It
Mm,
will give you, the ability to possibly to interact socially. So
okay.
this will allow, to bring that stillness back in that a water violet person so desperately needs. And I shouldn't say
Okay.
desperately needs, but they definitely need it because they're just very sensitive souls.
Okay. Is it almost too like a bit of withdraw, like from everything? And the withdraw is more a reaction to maybe not feeling safe or protected or whatnot. And
Yeah.
so this can help
Yes,
some of that.
restore
Okay.
that back. Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's almost like the pendulum going the other way. So if we have the Centauri, right, we're like,
Yes.
all this stuff.
Right.
And then you've got the other type of person over here who's like, no, like this kind of, and then it starts to create that balance for water violet here and
Yes.
Centauri here. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes, because
Wow.
yes, that's a very good analogy because they definitely are on the other side of the spectrum,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
And then the third one, which is kind of bringing in all the mind chatter, which we've had this one before, is white chestnut.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So this one is because, how can we have peace or stillness when our mind is constantly chattering? We constantly have like all those troubled thoughts, the arguments they had, the thoughts or the ideas. You're constantly just like playing it over and over and over again. So you have that mind chatter that will not stop.
Yeah.
It keeps you up at night. So you have insomnia. It's basically like a mental torture that you're going through because you cannot really turn that off.
Yeah.
So the white chestnut will bring you back into balance. So it will give you a calmer mind and it will clear your mind. So this way, then you are able to rest. You're able to bring, more clarity to your mind so that you can live in some peace and some stillness.
Mm,
And then that way we can live, moving forward with clarity and how that looks, and also having an open heart and just being very present so that we are able to have that stillness.
yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. I really like that one too. Because it's the thing that I find particularly either working with clients and their animals or even, with being a teaching assistant, and I know that I've had to do this too. I still have to do this where I think I can take this situation and make it what I will, or or what, even with the animals, oh no, I'm just going to tell them what to, no, it doesn't work that, like, we're so not in control. So that feels like that helps bring that balance so that we can recognize not only that we're maybe not in control, but we're actually connected to something much greater.
Oh,
Does
wow.
that
Yes.
make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we're all connected, right? We're all one, really. And
Yeah.
we're all connected. It's just, what is our part in this world or what is the
Yeah.
role that we're here to do? Because we're all unique and designed to do whatever that is that we are here to do.
Yeah.
But yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Awesome.
it's amazing. And they all work, and they all work hand in hand together, as we know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, I'm guessing, well, I can see for me, like there's a little bit of over here, and then there's a little bit, I don't want to do this, and then there's like, I can see all three could work together.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then you just put one drop underneath your tongue, and it's amazing, like the shift, right? As you know, it's just like, oh, you're able to breathe and you're able
yeah,
to just sit in that stillness for a little while, just so that you all of a sudden, like, wow, why was I allowing that chaos to like kind of take control of me?
yeah,
Why is it that we just don't breathe and bring ourselves back to center when we know that then we listen to our higher self or the guidance that we have, and we're like, okay, things are going to be okay. This is
Mhm.
temporary. It's all going to work out. We just have to trust and have faith.
Yes. And we all know that that's way easier many times said than done, as we know
Yes.
very well. We're just going to continue to, we still use our Bach flower essences and try,
Right.
which is all we
Yeah.
can do. That's why
Yeah.
we're here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just assists us in moving forward.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much, Nina, for another 3 Bach flower essences. And you're good to come back next month for
Yes.
support. Okay. We'll see what
Very
the
good.
animals have to say for next month.
Okay.
So
That sounds great.
awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Nina.
Thank you.